This is WT for TST, and tonight I'm honoured to be joined by the pint-sized Powerhouse. How you doing, Rylan?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate, good. Listen, where do we start with you? The shot to stardom, I guess. How are you feeling for the past week or so?
Yeah, it's been nuts. It's been different for sure. But yeah, I've been enjoying the whole lot since fight night. It's been brilliant. Yeah.
So, first time on TST, what we like to do, mate, is get to know who you are, really, before we start talking boxing. I think it's important for the viewers to understand you, your journey, your childhood, all that stuff, and then we'll go into the current stuff. So, so your life, your journey started in Norwich.
Yeah. Well, I was just a bit out of Norwich, actually. I was a bit of a country boy back in the day. But yeah, I moved to Norwich, I think, when I was about, how old was I? About 10 or 11, something like that. And then, yeah, got into boxing at what age? 14, I think. But I've always been, ever since I can remember, I've just been fighting and just loving fighting. Like, not like going out and getting into trouble or anything like that. I just used to always play fight non-stop. Like, as a kid, I wasn't allowed to have, I don't know if they said I had a bit of ADHD, I suppose. So I was always bouncing off the walls kind of thing. But I always used to be play fighting with my cousins, my brother. I feel a bit sorry for my brother because he's not really much of a fighter, but I used to just be digging him all the time, just wanting to play the whole time. So yeah, I always knew it was going to be something I'm going to get into. It's going to be like a combat sport kind of thing. So yeah, then 14 got into the boxing, and then went with a group of mates, and then they kind of sort of stuck out for probably about a month kind of thing. And then they packed it in, and I just kind of stuck at it, and yeah, enjoyed it. Loved the buzz of getting in there and getting in the ring and stuff. And I suppose I don't know if I could say I'm an adrenaline junkie or not, because I hate adrenaline. Like, I don't like it, but it's something that's always there, sort of thing, when you're boxing. But yeah, I just love boxing kind of thing. Stuck in about 50 fights as an amateur, and yeah, and then now here we are, professional, and being on Sky Sports was a massive thing for me. So yeah, I'm glad I'm now out there and everyone knows what a pint-sized Powerhouse is all about.
So let's rewind. I'm going to go back to your school years. Talk to me about when you probably discovered that you had the power with the old dead arm game. Talk to us about that.
Yeah. Well, I used to just, I don't know, it's a stupid game, to be honest. I don't know, but boys going to be boys, aren't they? I always just used to want dead arm fights. I used to do it with my friends a lot. And then when you go around school and it was like, yeah, let's play a dead arm fight, and we just whack each other in the arms. And one friend of mine, he used to come in and he'd have the next day it'd just be black on his arm, and I'd feel bad. I'd be like, oh, like, and this guy was a lot bigger than me. He's like twice the size of me. I think, God, I must be able to pack a punch. Like, if I always used to win. Can't remember. I don't think I ever lost one. And I'd be doing it with the older boys as well. And I feel like that's when I thought, cool, I've got a little gift here. So I think that's when I ended up getting down the boxing gym anyway. So, because I used to punch, you punch, don't even know how to throw a punch back in the day. It's not like a proper shot. It's more of a stupid one like that. But I still done the damage. And yeah, that's how I found out I could pack a punch.
So then you went into the boxing gym, like you said. What age did you say that was? When you
I was about 14, I think. Yeah. Yeah, went down, it was Norwich Lads Club, was the amateur club I boxed for. And yeah, I got into it, and I was always a bit of a kind of swinger. I used to be a bit of a swinger when I used to be boxing. I never, as my amateur days, I never really stuck at it as I should.
Right, just picking this back up, we had a bit of an interference there. You were talking about the Norwich Lads Club.
Yeah, Norwich Lads Club is where I first started out in boxing. And yeah, I didn't stick at it as well as I should have done in the amateur game. I kind of dipped in and out of it, but I racked up about 50 odd fights for the amateur club. And I'd done all right. I never really, I think I'd probably spend half a season kind of thing boxing, and then I would be off doing my traveling kind of thing. So I reckon if I'd stuck at it, I may have got somewhere in it, but my style has always been more pro, not the amateur kind of flicky head move and all that. It was more just walking down and big shots kind of thing.
So what made you turn pro then? Just because?
Because I just thought that I love boxing. I kept coming back to it. So after I went away traveling, I'd be away for 6 months. I'd come back. I'd always come in the gym, and I started training again. Because I feel like I need like a focus to do something. Traveling was a thing where I'd be switched on, because you've got to be switched on some of the countries I've been to. You've got to be with it, kind of thing. And there's a bit of a bit of adrenaline buzz. Then I come back to normality, and it's like, right, I need to get back in the gym. I need to be doing something. Then I thought, I'm getting on now. I wouldn't mind turning pro, seeing what I can do, sticking them small gloves on. I mean, I used to knock people out in the 12-ounce gloves as an amateur. So I thought, putting these 8s on, it's going to be even easier. So let's, see how it goes. And I really stuck at it. And now here we are, doing really well.
So you just said there, I think this is right interesting when people talk about traveling. So you said you've got to have your wits about you. What was that about? Have you been to some bad places or?
Yeah, I've been to some quite rough places. Yeah, I was in Guatemala. I was in Belize, and that was all quite rough. I think it's Belize. Yeah, rough places, and you have to keep your wits about yourself when you're traveling, because you get ripped off every 5 minutes, just for being kind of a foreigner, and they'll see you got money, and they're on you, and they're like, right, they see you wearing a backpack. And I used to get ripped off a lot of the times, like especially when I lived in Cambodia. I mean, I'd get pulled over just for being white. I'd get pulled over, and they'd be like, right, we're on you, and they'd be on me straight away. And then they'd say like, they just want money off you straight away, saying you haven't got a light, wasn't working when it was working.
Was it like the cops?
Yeah, the police. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
wow.
mad. And then you'd see the locals driving around with no helmets on, no lights on. And I'm thinking, I've just been pulled over. I've got my lights on, I've got my helmet on, I've got everything. And the locals just shooting past. So they just look at you and see money, which I understand. We're like, they're poor countries kind of thing. But yeah, you've got to try and be as switched on as possible, especially like if you're in rough places, like you get robbed and all sorts.
And then back at home, you work as a chef in a care home, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I've been a like proper chef for, I'd say I've been in kitchens for a good 10 years, and I've worked in a lot of decent restaurants. But it's got to do COVID. Like, restaurants kind of scene's dying, which isn't good. But also, it's short-lived. Doing a lot of people stick with a chef in life, but you can't be a chef and a boxer. It's too much. I mean, racking up stupid hours in the week, kind of thing. This care home job came up, and I thought I'm going to go for it because it allows me to train. I'm not doing late, long 12, 15-hour shifts. And it's comfortable. It's fun. Like, the residents, they're all to laugh, kind of thing.
We're going to say, do you get a bond with is it an old people's home or yeah?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you get a bond with them. Yeah,
with
for sure. Yeah, like some of them, are proper characters, and some of them, they don't know what they're talking about, but you still have a laugh with them. And yeah, I really enjoy it, kind of thing. So, and it's easy when I finish work. I'm not exhausted because I haven't been like rushed off the feet doing hundreds and hundreds of like orders. So yeah, I come home and I've got energy to go training, kind of thing.
Do any of the residents see you on telly? Did they say anything?
No, I've shown a few of them the highlights and stuff, and they just can't believe it, because I go from serving like their dinner time. Sometimes I'm pushing around a tea trolley, and I'm serving them cups of tea, and I'm serving them biscuits and stuff. So they see me like going around serving them like a Jaffa cake and pink wafers and that. And next minute they see a video of me in the ring, but in the Pintsize Powerhouse, and it's a bit of a shock to them. I think, like, oh god, bit scary, but
But it's
yeah,
just you. To them, you're just you, aren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just me, kind of thing. It's just when I get in the ring, I suppose, not the same person as I am out of the ring, I suppose.
Which is probably a good thing, mate. You're a nice
Yeah,
guy.
it is, yeah.
You want to be nice in there. What? I bet that being a chef though, the chefing game, I bet that makes your meal prep dead easy, don't it? Do you do it all yourself?
Yeah, I do everything myself. Yeah, it makes it easier, but it's also hard because you feel like, I know I can make something a lot better than this. But you've got to try and have it as plain as possible, but I can make it nice, kind of thing. As it does help being a chef. Yeah, so that is a positive there.
Right, let's fast forward to the reason why you've hit the stardom, I guess. The Laws fight. You were going into that as listen, you were a massive underdog. But to you, you're never that underdog, were you? You always knew you were going to win.
Yeah, I kind of did. Yeah, I always knew I was going to win. I mean, there's always, well, you never really, you can say you never really know if you're going to win, but I knew I was very confident in my ability. Um, it's just, it was just kind of like you look at someone like Laws, you see he's got a good record and stuff, and he's knocked all his people. So there's always going to be thinking, God, this is going to be tough. But I knew that this is my time, and I'm ready to go, kind of thing. All the small hall shows I boxed on kind of felt just like practice just for that one. That one, I felt chilled out going to that. I felt like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be.
How did that come about then? Did you just get the call?
Yeah, well, my manager had been hassling quite a lot of people to get me on a show, which is good of him. And yeah, we knew there was going to be a call at some point because due to like COVID, they want good fights on TV now. They don't, obviously they can't be flying in any journeyman kind of thing. So they want good fights and 50-50 fights, that unbeaten records. So we knew there was going to be a call at some point. We knew it wasn't going to be a long notice. We knew we only get 2 weeks notice as well. But as soon as he got the call, he snapped it up.
So you have to be ready all the time then, don't you?
Yeah, well, I was always ticking over. I was never as ready as I would be for like if having a 6 to 8 week camp, but I was always fit, ticking over. I had one proper spar for that fight, and that was with Conor Ben, which is great sparring for that fight. And that was a week before the fight. So yeah, we crammed it in there. So I wasn't always as sharp as I could have been, kind of thing, if I'd had a longer camp. But
so what you're saying is that was nowhere near your best.
No, it wasn't. I don't want to. I sound like I'm being. I could do a lot better, but I generally could.
I asked the question. You're just filling the space, mate. So it's me that's leading there because I feel like what you've said is that actually that isn't the full you. You know, you've performed better in the past. Like you say, you've got a 6 to 8 week camp. You could be, even better. So what did you on the Laws fight? Did you study him? Did you know much about him, or was it just listen? I'm going to stick to my game.
Yeah, I'm just going to stick to my game. I never really like doing the studying. I watched a little bit of him, but I've known about Laws already, and I know that he's supposed to be strong. So I thought he's going to come to fight, and it's going to be easy for me because it saves me doing my job. Normally, I'm there cutting the ground down, walking them down to get them where I want to be, but I knew he was going to be standing in front of me, and that was that.
What's it like fighting someone that's with respect, so mouthy? What does that affect you at all, or?
No, not at all. I don't buy into any of that stuff. I don't like the calling outs. I don't like the name droppings. I'm just too chilled out for that stuff. We don't need it. Like at the end of the day, we don't. No one hates anyone when they get in it. Well, I don't anyway. Some people might, but I just feel like we're getting in the ring and we're entertaining people. So let's get in there and do a job. Like I think Laws is well all right. I think he's a decent guy. He just likes to talk a lot. Simple as that.
So what now for you then? Are we just waiting for a call from Uncle Eddie, are you, or?
Yeah. We're waiting at the minute. There's been talks, so we're just waiting, I suppose, to get this. Obviously, got to fight this weekend, isn't it? Get the weekend over the way, and then we'll be speaking to him and hopefully getting a contract sorted out.
Good stuff, mate. Well, congratulations on that. Right, how would like to finish these, mate? There's a few questions from the followers or the viewers, whichever one. Some of them are quite strange. Yours are all right. So, Brendan wants to know, who is your inspiration?
My inspiration. I don't really myself, I suppose. I just want to. I don't really know my inspiration. I suppose.
It doesn't have to be inside boxing. It can be anybody in your life.
Now probably is boxing mainly. I like Conor McGregor. I think he's brilliant. I think what he's done, he's started from the bottom and got to the top kind of thing. I feel like, and I look at his stuff, I feel like, yeah, that's well done. Like you've grafted and hard work pays off kind of thing. So absolutely. He's, a bit of an inspiration, I suppose.
Good stuff, mate. Good answer. Matt wants to know, bursting onto the main stage a few weeks ago, how far can you go in boxing?
I think I can go all the way.
What?
You've got to, haven't you? You can't think you're not gonna go as far. You got to go as far as possible. If I'm gonna say, oh, I get to British level, I feel like let's keep going. Why not?
Yeah, mate, great. Ryan, we touched on this earlier, but Ryan wants to know, you seem to be really well travelled. What's the best place you've been and what's the worst place you've been?
So I really enjoyed Guatemala. I found that lovely. I'm torn between Guatemala and Cambodia because I lived there for 5 to 6 months. I lived there.
Right.
They're both good countries. I didn't like Costa Rica. Maybe I went to the wrong places, but I went to a few of the cities and I didn't like them. I felt like I was going to get shot every corner I walked around. So I wasn't a fan of that.
No, I wouldn't be either, mate. Right, okay. And then we always finish with this question. It was a bit of a story behind it. There's one girl that always wrote in all the time saying, ask this question, always around chocolate or pudding. So we've kind of just gone with it. It's quite well received, actually, from you boxers. What are your top 3 chocolate bars?
So it is a Galaxy salted caramel.
Oh, is that number 1 or number 3?
That's number 1, I think, because I
right.
do really like that. Also, I'm a bit of a chocolate snob. I like my green and blacks. These little balls.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've had them before. They've got like little fruit thing in them. Green and black's organic chocolate. That'll be number 2. Number 3. I like a Toblerone.
Toblerone. See, I love Toblerone, but only at Christmas. Bit weird.
Yeah.
Love it at Christmas. Rylan, thank you very much for your time today. Anything that you want to say to your sponsors or the viewers?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out to my sponsors. So We Solve All, Assembled Scaffolding and Fire Snuff. I want to say thank you very much for all your support. And just a massive thank you to everyone that sent me messages and just all the support from everyone's been amazing. So thanks a lot.
And I think the last thing to say is I love your name.
Yeah.
No one's ever. There's nothing like it out there, is there? There's
it's a good one, isn't it?
It's just. Where did it come from? Just literally because.
Just because I'm probably the smallest out of all of my group of mates. So some of them called me Pintsize, and I thought I'm powerful. So let's go with a Pintsize Powerhouse. It just kind of stuck.
It's brilliant, mate. Right. Thank you very much. We'll speak to you again soon. Cheers, mate. See ya. Bye-bye.